Gathered to discuss the proposed voyage around the world, we meet the most influential members of the Institute of Incoherent Geography. President Paul Hunter announces the arrival of engineer Kreiselov, originator of a marvelous scheme. Kreiselov explains his project, which will employ every known means of locomotion: railroads, automobiles, dirigible balloons, submarines, boats, etc. The Institute enthusiastically votes to proceed with the unparalleled plan. The interior of a machine shop in full blast. Kreiselov is plunged into algebraic calculations. The servant brings him his breakfast. But Kreiselov is exasperated by his insistence. Members of the projected expedition arrive to examine the progress of the work. Kreiselov shows them a unique train of his own invention. A submarine boat perfected, an icebox, and 1,000 other accessories, the purpose of which we will explain later. In another part of the shop, Kreiselov showed them the casting of a colossal piece of machinery. Standing too near, Mrs. Paul Hunter is suffocated by the smoke and faints. Somebody calls for water. The lady comes to her senses, wet and hungry. Preparations are complete. The members of the expedition go and purchase their tickets on the Paris to Sand line. Everybody embarks in the train. Two laggards arrive just in time to see the door close in their faces. The Crazy Loft Expedition Special traverses the Swiss landscape, complete with 2 dirigible balloons, an automobile, an icebox, submarine, and a carload of passengers. Everybody die Train, Jungfrau Station. The inhabitants of the country await the coming of the Geographical Society, whose sensational arrival has been heralded. Some freight handlers lower the auto from the train and push it outside the station. The 14 travelers embark in Crazy Loft's impossible carriage, decorated with colossal lanterns, a monstrous projector, and a horn of unheard of dimensions. Little time is lost in their journey to the inn. "Do not disturb yourselves," said the chauffeur. "We are only passing through." Crazy Loft increases the pressure and darts on at 300 miles an hour. The carriage leaps over valleys and mountains. The carriage comes to a rest at the bottom of a precipice, where it is smashed to pieces. Fortunately, a party of guides and mountain climbers come to their aid and extricate them from their painful situations. The lame savants are borne away by the guides to a stay of 5 weeks in the hospital. Cured, but not demoralized, they ask only to continue their journey. Kreisilov sends his train to the summit of the Jungfrau. The train arrives in full blast at the summit, leaps off, and sustained by the dirigible balloons, flies off into space. Dawn appears, the clouds scatter themselves little by little. The sun rises, the rays brighten, and the heavenly body slowly appears. This disagreeable and unexpected pill yields indigestion, fire, and flames. The savant crawled out from under the heap. And after having been counted, recognized with joy that in spite of their unheard of adventure, nobody has been hurt. Kreisilov, enthusiastic over the novelty of the landscape, leads the savants in the discovery of this unknown country. Suddenly, the warmth of the rising sun becomes intolerably hot. The unfortunates see themselves doomed to a certain death in a temperature of 3,000 degrees. Kreisilov remembers the icebox. Kreisilov, ready to collapse, has remained to the last, and is only too willing to go in when he sees that all are out of danger. But an appalling spectacle presents itself to his sight. The savants, suddenly frozen, are imprisoned in a block of ice, in attitudes most grotesque. The flame crackles joyously, melts the ice, and frees the savants. Kreisilov cries to them to get out and leave at the earliest moment these inhospitable places. It is necessary to return to Earth at the earliest possible moment. The savants, at a hurtling gate, return to the scene of the disaster, and among the wreckage of the train, they find that the submarine boat has been miraculously saved. They open a hatchway, and all scurry head over heels into the boat. Happily, the engineer has foreseen all. At the moment when the submarine falls into space, a folded parachute spreads out. There is fire on board. The savants make superhuman efforts to put out the fire with buckets of water. In a seaport, the sailors are busy with their occupations. They are suddenly knocked over and laid flat by the explosion of the submarine, which has just taken place a short way out from the shore. A piece of the boat falls among them. The sailors leap up frightened and rush to examine the singular thing which has fallen from heaven. They are amazed to see come out the savant who by a wonderful providence have been sent into space with the remnants of the boat and have fallen to earth without experiencing any severe wounds. Kreisilov, carried on the shoulders of some stalwart sailors, brandishes with pride the propeller of the submarine. He will keep it as a souvenir of his incredible expedition. Upon returning to the Geographical Society, the savants report the results of their voyage to all the notabilities of the land, who declare the impossible voyage a resounding success.